Hello, and welcome to a presentation from the Roane County Office of Emergency Services and Homeland Security. This is a part of Severe Weather Awareness Week in Tennessee, and our presentations are brought to you through the cooperation of the Roane County Office of Emergency Services and Homeland Security, the National Weather Service, and the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency. In this video, we're going to talk about the first day of emphasis with this week of Severe Weather Awareness Week, and that has to do with the importance of the Skywarn Spotter. Before we get through with the program, we'll understand the importance of the Skywarn Spotter. We've got to do several things to do that. We've got to understand what Skywarn is. What is a Skywarn Spotter? We've got to understand why they're important and figure out how one can become a spotter and who can become a spotter. So let's just go ahead and dig right in. Let's first learn a little bit about what Skywarn is. Skywarn is a nationwide network of volunteer storm spotters trained by the National Weather Service to report significant weather. Anybody with an interest in weather is welcome to participate. Skywarn is a registered trademark of the National Weather Service, and the organization is owned and governed by the National Weather Service. What is it that makes Skywarn important? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. The National Weather Service's mission is to protect lives and property, with safety being the top priority. When weather conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms or tornadoes or other dangerous weather to develop, a severe thunderstorm or tornado or other appropriate watch is issued. The National Weather Service and/or the local emergency management authorities may activate the Skywarn network whenever there is a threat of severe weather or when the Weather Service issues a severe weather watch or a warning. A little bit more about the Skywarn program. We know that the effects of severe weather are felt every year by many Americans. To obtain critical weather information, NOAA's National Weather Service, which is part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, established the Skywarn program with partner organizations. Skywarn is a volunteer program with nearly 300,000 trained severe weather spotters. Amateur radio operators and other weather observers, generally operating through local organizations, are the ones that are ideally equipped to contribute to the Skywarn program. The general public is an integral part of the Skywarn program. These volunteers are trained by National Weather Service personnel to recognize features associated with rapidly developing, mature, and dissipating conditions, which can cause hazardous weather. Skywarn spotters also report heavy snow, heavy rain, and flooding when needed. Well, what and who is a Skywarn spotter? That's the next question we want to answer. Skywarn volunteers are people who either have a strong interest in weather or are public service oriented or both. Skywarn spotters are all ages, beginning as young as 14 and range well into retirement age. Skywarn spotters are made up of farmers, pilots, engineers, homemakers, lawyers, television cameramen, teachers, students, firemen, and about everything else. While most Skywarn volunteers are members of the general public, there is also a core group that are licensed amateur radio operators. We'll take a closer look at these Skywarn spotters. During hazardous weather, such as severe thunderstorms, floods, tornadoes, or snow and ice storms, Skywarn volunteers report what is happening at their location. They're asked to report whenever certain criteria are met, such as when an inch of rain has fallen, or 4 inches of snow may be on the ground, or a thunderstorm is producing hail, or trees may have blown down. These spotters are trained by one of the 122 local National Weather Service forecast offices on how to spot severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, hail, flooding. And in some parts of the country, of course, they also report snowfall and ice accumulation. But now you're beginning to get a grip on the understanding about Skywarn and spotters, but as they say on TV, wait, there's more. Once trained, active Skywarn spotters are very valuable because of something that all the high-tech goodies the Weather Service has cannot provide them. That valuable asset is called ground truth, and ground truth is the most valuable ingredient when warning the public about weather that threatens life or property. Ground truth is a term when we use it in meteorology that has to do with assisting in the analysis of a range of other remote sensing technologies in which data are gathered from a distance. Ground truth refers to information that is collected on location. In remote sensing, this is especially important in order to relate image data to real features and materials on the ground. The collection of ground truth data enables the calibration and a better understanding of remote sensing data, such as radar screens, and it aids in the interpretation and analysis of what is being sensed. Let's take the example that you see here on the screen of a radar antenna, and it's sending beams up at different angles into the sky. You'll be able to note that at the lower angle, it sees some raindrops falling. At upper angles, it sees clouds and a storm cell. It may even see rotation. So this line of sight of radar images is a primary example. Radar signals can only go out in straight lines at different angles above the surface. Because of the Earth's curvature, the further away, the higher over the ground it sees. It can't look lower. Radar beams don't follow the curvature of the Earth. A radar, such as the one we're seeing on the upper left of your screen, may see rotation in that storm cell that's up high at some elevation above the surface, but it cannot see what's on the surface. And touching the surface is what makes the difference between a tornado and just a funnel cloud. And that difference is very important. That is why ground truth, which can only come from someone directly observing, is so vital to the forecasters and warning officers at the National Weather Service. Well, all right, that's well and good, but who is it that can be a Skywarn spotter? Well, anybody who has the interest in learning some basics about weather and how to report it accurately to the Weather Service can be a Skywarn spotter. There aren't any real age requirements, but one would have to be old enough to grasp the basic content of the training and the use of various methods to notify the Weather Service of observations. Skywarn spotters, by the way, are not storm chasers, period. The main emphasis is on spotter safety. If you want to go chase storms, go somewhere else. Being a Skywarn spotter is not for you. So if you're interested and you're thinking about what do I do to become a Skywarn spotter, the National Weather Service provides both in-person classes and online classes. There are several ways you can get the education free of charge. Upon passing any required little tests, you'll be sent your Skywarn spotter certificate and card by way of the email. The National Weather Service has a site for training, which we're showing you here, and we will also provide a copy of this link in the description part of this video. The National Weather Service Skywarn classes page has both a schedule of upcoming classes and a link to take an online course. If you pick an in-person class to attend, they ask that you use their site to pre-register. It saves them time if you'll do that. There's also another site called MetEd that has an online course for spotters as well. There are two segments to that class. The first is the role of the Skywarn spotter, and the second is the Skywarn spotter convective basics. You must take and pass both, and we'll provide a link to that site also in the description of this video, just as we're providing it here on this slide for you. Now, let's check out the next page if you'd like to get registered for a class that is going to be held locally. We've got all necessary details right here. There will be a free Skywarn training class in Roane County on April the 13th at 7 p.m. The Weather Service does request that folks who will attend register ahead of time. It helps them with their records and in getting spotter cards out quickly. The location will be at the Rockwood Community Center, 710 North Chamberlain Avenue in Rockwood. The class runs at about 2 hours, so you can expect to spend from about 7 to 9 there. Here again, we've got a web link to the class on our slide here, and it will be repeated in the description of this video. I've also provided a web link for pre-registering for the class, but again, it also will be provided in the description to this video. Don't worry if you can't pre-register. They'll let you take the class, not a problem, but please try to pre-register if you can. And this is all done for you free of charge, courtesy of the National Weather Service, the Roane County Office of Emergency Services and Homeland Security, and the local amateur radio club, the Roane County Amateur Radio Club. We want to thank you for your kind attention in viewing this video. We hope it's been helpful to you. Your Roane County Office of Emergency Services and Homeland Security has presented it to enhance public education and safety. As a reminder, this is part of Severe Weather Awareness Week in Tennessee, and we'll have several presentations during the week. Each time we'll offer a different subject to improve public awareness and safety. We hope you'll join us. We also hope that you have a wonderful day.